let's say 1832, need a unit to bring a bullhorn. So remember what you said before, that you didn't hear any announcements?
No, I said that if we're reading the CAT report to reflect an action, and we know the video that reflects this particular action that was filmed, we can corroborate whatever actions are being stipulated on the CAT report against what the video shows,
Yeah, okay, well,
and see
anyway,
whether there are discrepancies or not.
you raised the question a couple times of was there an announcement made, or was something like that?
Yeah, we
So
did.
here you are, 1832 and 28 seconds, start giving disbursement orders, right? Next line, 1832 and 44 seconds, 16 seconds later, need a unit to bring a bullhorn. So they're supposed to disperse, but they don't have a bullhorn. 11 seconds later, taking multi rocks and bricks. Then we go down to 1834-15, using smoke and less than lethal. So between 1832, so within 2 minutes after they were ordered to give disbursement orders, they are using smoke and less than lethal. Now, less than lethal or less lethal refers, as I understand it, to projectiles. And Berkeley, I believe, only uses one kind of less than lethal, which is the hard foam. And so there's an outstanding question about the use of less than lethal for crowd control. So what some jurisdictions do is they say this must be targeted against a person where they have a clear shot. So
Instead of firing into the crowd.
yeah, so what happened? Did they use it against the crowd? Did they use it on a target on an individual with a clear shot where there's no possibility or no reasonable possibility that it would affect multiple people?
So that's a particular question we're going to have to look for an answer, if the answer is going to be given to us through the chief's report.
I'm just saying, this jumped off really quick. A couple minutes and boom, we're doing smoke and less than lethal. So those are the kind of questions I have.
That is also related to the email from Captain Upton asking for resupplying of less than lethal ammo, 44 millimeters, and gas rounds and heavy deployable CS
Can you
grenades.
say that again, please?
There's an email relating to this from December 7th. It's from Captain Upton to seeing Captain Frankel, I believe, in which is asking for requesting immediate assistance from agencies outside the immediate Bay Area to borrow CS gas and 40 millimeter less.
No, CS gas is another name for tear gas.
Yes.
Okay, and what's the second?
And 40 millimeter less lethal ammo.
And which is presumably the hard foam? Okay.
So
That's what you use a lot of.
So there are three things here. That's the usage. We have the email that is corroborating not only that it was used, but that they needed to ask
Use
for
it up.
supplies. So the question is now that we haven't asked yet, but it's part of our questions, how much was used? The problem is that they never keep a record like they do with tear gas and what is used, but that should be able to be in the report. If they're asking for supplies, then they should have used enough on the 6th that they didn't feel comfortable having to send it to the 8th.
It also tells us that it's not Hayward, or not only Hayward, that's using the less lethal or less than lethal projectiles. This refers to BPD, presumably.
Well,
And they're asking for us out of the Bay Area.
that may not be an accurate assumption. Because my understanding is that the mutual aid units were with each other and whereas it wasn't I don't think the divisions were that clear.
All right, well,
We'll look into that though, that may not be the correct assumption.
But this is good. We have one video, we have one CAT report, we have an email that corroborates the tear gas, the usage, how much was used. But I'll be interested in knowing what the usage was of tear gas that predicated the resupply. Or whether they expected to resupply just in case because December 2nd days would be of the same scale as December 6th.
see.
I see incident commander.
For instance, the chief.
We also know from this information that Captain Hobson was the incident commander. We know that.
Okay.
It's on the information. Oh, Captain Hobson was the incident commander. You know, the chief was not the incident commander. Captain Hobson was. And that would explain the voice you hear in the background. When you're listening to all these videos of the police reporter, you hear this voice in the background telling people what to do within the records. We know that's Captain Hobson did. Well, we could assume, we can ask whether it's Captain Hobson or not. But we know from these emails Captain Hobson was the incident